Hello and welcome to this edition for Colour Mirrors Bookshop. My name is Kate Griffiths and I'm one half of Art of Leadership. My business partner Kath Roberts is the other half, and last month she was here talking to you about our orange business principle. Today, because I'm going from top to bottom, I will be talking to you about the violet business principle, which is non-attachment to outcomes, follow your bliss, do what you love, and bring your innate gifts and uniqueness to the world. Sounds fantastic, doesn't it? And who wouldn't want to do that? And what organisation wouldn't want to have meaningful work and a real sense of their purpose? So why is it that this is so difficult to achieve in organisations, so as a collective and individually? I think the best way to understand this is to explore all of the violet bottles in the colour mirror systems and see what they share with us about this particular area. So let's look at the first bottle that appears in the system. It is this one, a light violet over a deeper violet. When you look at this, look at it deeply, let me put it right in the centre of what do you get? How does it make you feel? You might get an image, you might get a few words. Whatever you do, don't censor. When I look at it, I get a sense of heaviness. It slows me down, gets me to stop. And when I explore that a bit further, I realise that it's because of all the perceived or real judgment that sometimes emerges. As we often do judgment in violet, and particularly in that bottle. And then we have a fear of all of that coming back to haunt us. And so when we are in that space, we tend to quickly retreat out of our body and back into our heads. And we go to that place where we go round and round in a loop, reviewing what's happened, analysing it again and again, the same things, well, he said this, she said that, trying to understand what it all means. But actually all we're really doing is hardwiring what has already gone wrong into our system and almost getting to self-combustion because of the over-analysis. And it's no wonder that this is what's happening when we look at this bottle. And yes, I realise it isn't violet, but it is the bottle that sits behind the first bottle I showed you. It is the opposite, or the complementary. And we know this because Goethe created his colour wheel. And when he put the colours together, violet and yellow were opposite to each other. So in colour terms, we say that the shadow is seen, to use a Jungian term, through the complementary colour to the one that we are showing. So in this case, it is yellow, and yellow is all about the mental construct and about getting stuck in our head. So it's perfect when we talk about these things, because that's exactly what happens. Because when we feel judged, then that what is created is a great deal of resistance. Kath and I were working with a group of senior leaders last week, and we saw all that play out beautifully in the way that we challenged their thinking, and they then responded to us. And to say that it was an interesting session is probably an understatement, but we had to work hard to maintain the equilibrium, and we learnt a huge amount, because here's the other thing, we only learn when we're in a place of discomfort. So then we go to the second bottle in the system, this violet over red. What do you get with that? We talk about taking the purpose in violet down to the root in red, represented by the red, which in organisational terms is the workers, the people on the shop floor. And this can be very, very challenging because especially in larger organisations, you have potentially quite a big senior leadership team and they're all enthusing about the new purpose or the new values, or whatever it is, talking a lot about it and communicating that to people. And yet it is a bit like the rainforest canopy. The senior leaders are there right at the top, and a lot of the rain that is coming down gets stuck in that, or waters that very top half, but doesn't actually get much further down. So only a tiny bit of all of that conversation filters through to the people at the bottom. And that is part of the challenge of creating meaningful work. But if we manage it, then we get this lovely bottle, which is also violet over a pale violet. But it has a very different energy to the first. You see the difference? This is the first one. I'm moving up and down now. This is the second. Look at them both side by side. Which do you prefer? I know I prefer this second one because it has within it the promise of transformation, which is kind of exciting, don't you think? Indeed. So there is one more bottle I want to share with you, which I think illuminates or sheds a lot of light on this, and that is this one, which is a magenta over a violet. So sometimes when we're creating our purpose, we're ever so worthy and righteous. Oh, look at me, look what I'm doing. And if you have a social enterprise or that element in your business, because we're coming from a place almost of duty and the need to do it. We're doing it because it's the right thing to do. Everyone should be doing this. Well, actually, what we really need is a good, strong dose of magenta, because magenta is, when we're doing purpose from magenta, it's because we love what we do and we focus on the difference we're making, and then suddenly we're making tons of money because the two are inextricably linked. Providing we're coming from that place of I'm doing this because I love it, because it's important to me, rather than coming from the material. However, if we overdo it, even if it's something we love, we can end up in burnout. And the antidote to that is in this lovely bottle, the olive green and the yellow. And I'm just going to particularly look at the olive green. So olive green is made up of equal parts of green and yellow. So if we think about what that means, green represents love. And love without power, which is what yellow represents, is anemic. Power without love is abuse. So the two combined are a marriage in heaven. And if you like, another way of looking at that is that they represent the masculine and the feminine, and we need both in order to succeed, which can be translated as being and doing. And that leads me to my final thing that I want to say, give you an exercise. If you're wondering, how do I create a meaningful purpose? May I suggest that you take this fantastic spritzer here, Metatron, spray a little bit in each hand and then spray a bit above your head. Rub your hands together, close your eyes, take a deep breath in, and then just be still, focusing on the smell that you're getting as you breathe it in, focusing on your breath, and in that stillness, connecting to your intuition and being informed by it, because this is the way to wholeness and to creating meaningful work. Thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. And whilst this is a pre-recorded video, if you do leave any questions or comments either on YouTube or via the Colour Mirrors Facebook page, I promise to respond to them. And we love to hear from you. Until next time.